Okay, well, hey everybody, I'm trying to get my lighting adjusted because of course the sun just came out.
All right.
But this is, of course my name is Angel Smedley, and today I'm trying something a little different. I wanted to have a little girlfriend chat, and I'm going to call it Angel and Friends. So all of my lovely friends, they will introduce themselves, but they've all agreed to sit and talk and be candid about the topic of today. And the topic of today is, what was the worst date you've ever had? And it's a doozy. So why don't you girls introduce yourself? Carrie, why don't you go first?
I'm Carrie Brescia. Good to see you, ladies.
And then
Gina?
do you want me to go next? Hey guys, I'm Gina Gannon. I sell Delicioso, so you might know me from that.
Miss Corinne?
Hi guys, I'm Corinne Martucci. I've known Angel for many years and I've been a Quacker Factory lover, and I've been working with QVC for many, many years.
Awesome. And then Susan?
Hi, I'm Susan Redfield, and I've known Angel since the 9th grade in 1982. French class.
We've been through.
We've been through everything.
Yes. So, well, I'm just going to get to it. And I want to thank Toy Sweeney, our friend, for suggesting this. And I'm going to get her on one of these chats. But she said, why don't you talk about, you remember that date you had? You were still modeling. And she said, you should talk about that. And I said, okay, ouch. So I was working full-time at a university, and I was also working part-time at QVC modeling. This was in my 20s, and it was before the internet and before swiping apps and that kind of stuff. And it was a very hard, it was just hard to meet people. And so there was the city paper, and there were ads in the back where you could connect with people to date. And so I was chatting with this guy. I blocked out his name, couldn't tell you what it is. And he was like, well, what do you do? And I told him, I said, I also part-time model and do stuff. He was like, oh, really? And so he was like, well, I have to fly out to go to, somewhere. I have a small window. I could meet you tonight for dinner. Would you be okay driving me to the airport? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So
Well, that right there, Angel, I don't know. Okay, go on.
I know.
Oh no, it gets worse. So
I know the story.
Yeah, so I think I went to go pick him up, I think I went to his apartment to pick him up or meet him. And, it was the 90s. We were stupid in our 20s, And
I think it was just the 90s that happened, but continue.
He opened the door and he saw me and saw that I wasn't a 6 foot tall size 0 model.
Oh.
And he was just like, and he was like rude to me from the start.
Oh my God.
But I put up with it thinking, well, maybe it'll get better, blah, blah, blah. And we had dinner and he just kept going back to it. Why didn't you tell me you were a plus size model? Why didn't you say something? Yeah.
I know, like.
He was so rude. And I was young. Like if it were now, I would have like kicked him into somewhere and said, peace out. But because I was young and I really didn't have a lot of experience dating, and I took him to the airport after dinner. He was so rude, and he just couldn't get over. He's like, well, you didn't tell me the truth. Like, why didn't you tell me you're a plus size model? I said, well, what does it matter? I'm still a model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I took him to the airport, and then I had to go to QVC that night. And so I pretty much cried the whole way from the airport to QVC. It was horrible.
Did he at least pay for dinner?
I don't remember. I think he did.
That's the least you could do.
Yeah.
So that was my worst date.
Oh,
ever.
that was so terrible.
Awful.
Yeah. That's
So I want to hear about you guys. Carrie, what was yours?
Well, Gina knows I could literally write a book at this point. Disclaimer, I'm actually getting married, so anybody watching this, think, wait, what happened? So happy to get married, but in the past, so this goes way back. I was living in Manhattan, just graduated college, moved in with all my sorority sisters, and I don't know how I met this guy, but he was a little bit older than me. I was like 24, he was probably 31. And not really attractive, like already had the comb over. He was like the strawberry blonde hair comb over. And he had the little, like, he was a little overweight, but honestly, in all my years of dating, I never cared about like how big are your biceps. Like, I love a good brain, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he had like this one button on his shirt that was popping open. And he suggested that we meet near Central Park for like a glass of wine and some appetizers. We were going every Wednesday night in Manhattan back in the day was a free movie night in Central Park. And we used to go everywhere. It was such a great thing to do. People had these elaborate like crystal goblets of like, champagne and catered from Zabar's and everything. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And we were going to go meet a bunch of his friends. So we met up, and he's a little like, if you just lost 10 pounds, you could have a really good body. And I was like, I don't know, because I was much thinner at the time. I was thin. I was a young girl. What's that?
He said that to you?
Yeah, he was like, wow, you've got a good figure, but you could really, kick it up if you wanted to.
Wow.
Right, Gina?
What?
So I'm like, all right.
With the comb over.
With the comb over. At the comb over. So so he was an anesthesiologist at Lenox Hill Hospital. Now, that is a very prestigious hospital on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And I'm like, wow, big brain alert. Like, this could be a good thing, interesting, educated person. So we're entering the park. And as you could think about it, you've got like, everybody has all their blankets and kids and dates and husbands and wives and all their spreads. This guy walks directly. He sees his friends. He's like, they're my friends. Walks directly towards his friends over everyone's blanket, knocking stuff over, didn't even, walking like 10 feet in front of me. And I had people that thought maybe I was his wife or something. And they're like, hey, lady, control your guy. Like, and I'm just like, we finally get like 100 yards up. I feel something hit the back of my head. Someone had hit me with a French baguette in the back of my head.
Oh my God.
Thinking that I was with this guy and that we're a couple of jerks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, we meet up with his friends, and I just was like, you know what? I forgot something at my apartment. I'll be right back. And I knew my girlfriends were all at a bar near our apartment. So I showed up after like 20 minutes. They're like, we thought you had a date. What happened? I don't remember his name, and I don't care to. So.
Boy.
By the way, my date, also Potbelly. Also.
And complaining that you're not a size 00.
Yes. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Gina, tell me about yours.
Well, I actually have all my dating stories on notes on my cell phone because I never want to forget them. And I actually went through a couple of my old diaries today because I'm like, I know I keep diaries. Because I had so many horrible stories. Like, I have this one guy was obsessed with John Mayer, invited me to his house with a John Mayer coffee cup, had pictures of him on the wall. I had a guy that had a higher voice than I did. I mean, like, another guy wore a foundation, but, and the last guy that I dated before I met my fiance made me split the bill with him because I wanted to eat dessert, but that's a whole nother story. And if you ask me to split the bill, I'll never go on another date with you again. But that's just my thing. So, especially if you're asking me out on the date. You're asking me out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
Okay.
Agreed. 100%.
Yes. I mean, for me, that's just being a gentleman. I don't expect you to take me to a fancy schmancy restaurant. We went to Mexican. It was a $40 bill, but I wanted a Trace Lake Chase cake.
Right.
Like, come on, girls gotta eat her dessert,
Right.
Okay, so my worst date to this point Years ago, the Philadelphia Daily News had a feature called the Philly Sexy Singles.
What year? What's your year, Gina?
I think I was a 2017 sexy single, I think, or
I was 2009, but now I'm aging.
Nice. Okay. So I'm at the sexy singles party. And so I'm like, all right, like maybe I'll meet somebody here. And so my cousin, her ex-fiance was a sexy single as well. So I'm like, oh, I know him. So it was nice that I knew him. He brought a friend with him. So the friend was talking to me. He's like, oh, can I get your number? And he was pretty cute. I'm like, sure, I'll give you my number. He was very, very persistent because I wasn't going to go out with him, but he was very persistent. I'm like, all right, I'll give him a chance. I know that this guy knows him, so he can vouch for him. So it's not like it's a complete stranger. It's also weird, like you all know, when you're on TV and you're dating someone, it's kind of like, oh, like you just don't know why they're trying to date you, whatever. So that just creates another odd element to the whole thing. But so we go on a date, and he's like, okay, meet me at this restaurant, and then we'll go to Helium Comedy Club right after. I'm like, cool, sounds like a fun date. So we're on the date, and he's like being really obnoxious and like super weird. And I'm like, okay, like maybe I just don't know his personality. Like maybe he thinks like this is funny. So we're at this Italian restaurant, and it's a horrible Italian restaurant. Like, and again, I like to eat, so like I need to at least take me to a good Italian restaurant. So all of a sudden, the waiter's about to come over, and he goes, okay, ready? Let's role play. And I'm like, in what way? Like, what do you mean by this? And he's like, I'm gonna pretend that I abuse you. And I said,
What?
Oh,
So
no way.
I literally was like, I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's really odd. And so as he comes over, he's like, you never know what you want. You never know. I always have to order for you. And I'm like, and the waiter's like, do you need me to give you a couple minutes? I'm like, no, I think we're fine. And he just keeps going on and on. And so I was like, hey, like I just think this is like a little unnecessary. Like, can we just like stop, you know? And again, like I don't know him that well. But now I'm like, oh my God, now I have to go spend an entire night at Helium Comedy Club with him. Like, this is gonna be terrible. So it wound up being like an awful dinner. Okay. So then we go in line to wait for Helium. You know how they have hecklers?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
So we're waiting in line. And again, I'm looking down at my notes because I need to remember this. So he's like, don't you hate when people in line just make a fool of themselves? And I'm like, oh, like what you're doing? And again, like I'm trying to just, and like there was like a couple in front of us, and like they're looking at me like, is she really with him? And so this was during a heat wave in the summer. So we go into Helium. It's so hot. The air conditioning wasn't working. And so we finally like get through the first round of comedians, and then there was an intermission. So I'm sitting at the bar like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? And so they had fans, like stand-up fans, sitting on top of the bar. So I was a little hot, so I turned the fan ever so slightly a little bit to hit me. And this girl, I guess, must have wanted it on her, so she moved it back. Like, okay, whatever, no big deal. Oh, he was like, she violated you. And I was like, no, she didn't. Like, it's okay. Like, it's Philly. It's cool. Like, I'm not going to start a fight with somebody. And he's yelling at the bartender, he violated her. This is not an excuse. He's like, this is it. This is not acceptable. And I went and walked away and like hid behind a corner. I'm like, this is crazy. So I was like, okay, let me at least finish the date. Although I should have left right there, to be honest. But so I don't know why. When we were leaving, I was like, do you need a ride home?
Oh no.
So he's like, yeah, that would be great. I'm like, okay. So I'm driving him home. We're like going down like Spring Garden, and there was a lot of homeless people, like just, you know, on whatever. And oh, he lost it. He's like, see the homeless? They're fake. They're all fake. They're not real. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, they want to be homeless? I'm like, I don't think they're fake. He's like, it's a conspiracy. They're fake. And I was like, okay, I don't think they are, but all right. And he just kept going on and on. Government now, the homeless is not a real thing, and it was beyond bizarre. And then says, you want to come up? I'm like, no, I think I'm okay, thanks. Have a good one.
Obnoxious.
But at least he paid for the bill. I know.
Oh, you should get something from that, huh?
Oh my God. I didn't get anything because the meal wasn't even good.
Oh man. All right, Corinne, we've known each other a long time too. I know you have some doozies, girl.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of just like Gina was talking about, I have them written down in an old journal from 15 years ago, but this one, I went through my journals and I found this one, and this one was this was up there. I've had some, guys say, well, since you work on TV, you want to pay the bill. Yeah. I'm not rolling in it. I have a little townhome, but yeah, it was set up by mutual friends. So I'm thinking, you guys, you've known somebody for a really long time, so you think you trust your friends. You really, truly do. Mistake one. So my friend's like, Corinne, we got this great guy. He's super nice, just got a divorce. He just wants to go out. I said, great. This is about 13 years ago when we still had home phones. That's why I'm telling you this, home phones. So we met for a quick bite, quick, like a pre-date to the date. So I'm like, all right, let's, go out for the day. So we had a drink, and really cute, tall, very well spoken. I was like, this is wonderful. I'm like, wow, this is going to be great. So he was like, so since we passed the pre-date drink, can we have dinner? I said, absolutely. So I gave him my home address, and he picked me up in my house. So that was probably not a smart idea. But back again, mutual friends. He seemed really nice. Pre-date, seemed normal on the pre-date. So he comes to pick me up, and I got dressed up. I had my nice, it was wintertime, so I had my faux fur on, and I had my boots on, my little Gucci. I was all Gucci'd out. I was kind of, it was a date for a long time. So I was really excited, to go on this date. So I had some Billie Holiday playing. He walks into my house and he goes, oh, this is kind of nice music. You want to dance? I was like, all right, this guy has a little, something different. Okay, fine, I'll dance. He takes me, twirls me, and then he drops me.
What?
So that was in my own house. He walked into my house, do you want to dance? I'm like, okay. So he twirls me around, and then he goes to go dip me, and then he just let go, and I fell on the floor.
Oh, wow.
I was like, all right. So this is how the date started.
Oh no.
I was like, all right. So he's, nervous. Here I am giving, the benefit of the doubt. He's nervous. First date. So then we get to the restaurant. But meanwhile, his car's parked out front. Steam is coming out of the car because of the oil, because the car is burning oil. And he was supposed to be this executive with, Monet. Yes, this executive that had, a decent running car to take a girl out on a date. So he was smoking a little bit. And I said, well, the restaurant's only 2 blocks away. So we get to the restaurant, BYOB. And I said, you know what, you can't park here. We're going to get a ticket. And he's like, oh, no, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And I was like, okay, I'm just letting you know we're going to get a ticket. I live here in the borough, and I know you're going to get a ticket. So he takes the box of wine. Now, you guys, on a first date, I'm going cheap because, we're in the pandemic, and I'm kind of on a budget right now. So I'm doing the boat a box of wine. But on our first date, he grabbed the box. He went for the box. So I was like, all right, okay, try not to, again, during dinner, he repeated himself 3 times of the same conversation that we had for drinks prior. So I was like, oh, there's something. So as the night went on, we had dinner. I shoved it in my face. Yeah, getting really tired. I mean, I was already out. I already checked out from the date. So we're driving down the street, and it's a one-way where I live. And he stops in the middle of the street, and there's cars behind us. He just stops in the middle of the street. And he goes, what the hell what do you mean? Gets out of the car, takes the ticket off the car, and he starts screaming at me. He starts screaming at me. He's like, why did I get this ticket? I said, well, I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm like, I kind of told you not to park there. It's kind of illegal to park there. He's like, God, and he used every curse word, everything you could possibly imagine. So he went flying down my street, bypassing 2 stop signs. So he was just enraged, angry, mad. So I was like, all right, and no, it just finished snowing. So there's like lots of snow all around, and it would have been such a romantic night too, you guys. It sucked. So he went flying past my house, and there's a stop sign at my house, right? And I'm like, you just passed my house is this way. I know that. So I'm on 2 wheels in a 1992 hoopty, whatever. I don't even know what kind of car it was. I mean, it was smoking, and he's all mad. He whips around, and he goes. He's like maybe 2 blocks away from my house. And he went through another stop sign. Now he's doing like 40 miles an hour. This guy wasn't going to stop in front of my house. Was not going to stop. And I saw something about tucking and rolling, but I think that was for a fire. So I looked at him. I opened up the latch of the car door, and I went, peace. And he goes, what? I'm like, peace out. Opened up the car door, tucked, rolled.
No.
Oh my God.
Were you okay?
Yeah, but I had a fur coat, but like I knew like in a fire you're supposed to tuck and roll, but out of a moving car.
Oh my
God.
God.
And I just went, and I went out of the car, opened the latch, and I went rolling down the street, went into my house, locked the door, but I'm thinking, oh, shit, he knows where I live. Like, I'm so clever. I'm locking my door. And I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do? And he had my home number. I didn't give him my cell. I don't even think I had a cell. I'm going back to 90s, girl. So I think I had like an old cell. I don't even know what it was. So he started calling me. So I left my house and I went to Wawa at 4 o'clock in the morning, hung out with the cops and drank coffee. I mean, there's so much more to that, but
the fact you had to leave a car that way, that's a bad date.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
unbelievable.
It was snowing, you guys, and I had some cushion, and then I had like my faux fur coat on. I just like, if anybody would have seen me, I would have pissed myself if I would have seen myself rolling down the street. You know what I mean? If somebody like falls apart, I'm laughing, But like, if you would have seen your hair, coat going down the street, it was great. And he did. He called me up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just hung out with the cops at the Wawa. That was my horrible story.
That's a good one. That's a bad good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Wow. Oh my goodness gracious.
No bruises, no cuts, no anything. Just
wow.
Thank God you're okay. You were okay. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it was
oh my
fun.
God.
And I had to go on to QVC the next day. So like kind of like you I had to go and like be like all normal.
Right.
On the wall, 4 o'clock in the morning. I had like look good and smile, be happy. I just tucked and rolled out of a car the night before. Oh God. I'm in the world for that.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
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 I'm like, chink.
All right, Susan.
Well, none of my stories are going to compare. I was married for a long time, so
Dirty cheater.
yeah. So I have plenty of narcissistic cheating husband stories, but that's for another show. So my dating story happened after my divorce, and online dating is very weird, and I was new at it, so I just tried to do like the safest thing. I met this person at a restaurant far enough away from my house so that none of my local neighbors or community members would see me on a date, because I don't think I was technically divorced at the time, but he was cheating, so it was okay. So I'm at the restaurant waiting for him, and he's texted me, I'm running late. So he was supposedly an ex-professional baseball player. Never made it to the majors, but was in the minors. So he gave lessons to kids or whatever. So he's running late. The lesson ran over. Okay. So I'm just waiting. Okay, whatever. Now we're going on 20 minutes. I feel like an idiot. So I'm about to leave. He texts, I'm on my way. This parent, I swear to God, didn't pick up her kid. She's on her way. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Okay, wait 5 more minutes. He is still not there. Meanwhile, I'm waiting at this restaurant in the foyer. People are like, what is she doing?
Oh yeah.
So now I'm about to leave again. He texts me. I'm in the car. I'm literally in the car. Okay, I wait. I know he only lives about 5 minutes from this restaurant. 10 minutes go by. He's still not there. I am walking out the door to leave, and here he comes. It's been 45 minutes that I waited for this guy. Little did I know that there's this DTF thing. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but I don't know if she waits an hour, it's DTF. I don't know. I don't think I can say that on the air.
Really?
Yeah. So I learned that later. So we go on, he shows up, we go in, we have a drink. Everything is normal at the date. Like, he's very interested, asked me a million questions about myself and whatever. So then I agree to go out with him again. And he said, this time just come to my house, because then, if anybody is late picking up their kid or whatever, at least we'll be right there. I said, okay, so the date, I go and I meet him there. 30 minutes, I'm sitting in his living room while he's giving a pitching lesson to kids in his garage. So I'm like, okay, so this is the date. I'm waiting in his living room with some weird show on the television. It was just crazy. So, I mean, that's really the worst date that I had, but I can tell you a lot of stories about cheating husbands and narcissistic boyfriends.
I have a narcissistic boyfriend. Those are fun, aren't they?
They're very fun. Yes, everything is your fault.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I think we need to have another go round.
Yeah.
Where we discuss the narcissistic boyfriends.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you all have had them. I've had it too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, girls, for spending some time with me. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers. Angel, thanks for setting this up. This was fun. I feel like we actually had a girls' happy hour tonight.
Yes.
That's
absolutely,
fun.
yes.
Each other a little more. We all share war stories.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So onward and upward, and we will see you next time with Angel and Friends for another fun and saucy topic. All righty. So.